It's not often that we have an interview on this show that applies not only to us here in the area of our flagship stations here in the greater West Bloomfield area, not only here in Oakland County, not only in the state of Michigan, but not only all around the U.S., but all around the world. But we're going to break a little bit of our protocol here because this is a very important guest we have here with us, and he's very busy, so we want to get right into it. We are joined now by the Santa Claus on the MegaCast. Santa, thank you for being with us again.
Thank you for having me. Great to be back.
Yeah, great to have you back. It's, of course, been a year since we last spoke to you before last Christmas during a very challenging year, but we're back again, just 11 days away at this point, a little bit over 10 days. What do the final preparations look like for you and your team getting ready for the big day?
Well, from the outside, looking in, probably looks pretty hectic. It's more of a controlled chaos right now. Everybody's got a job to do. You know, the elves all are working very hard. We've got elves, caring for the, for the reindeer. We got elves, finishing up the toys and wrapping the presents, preparing the sleigh for flight. Mrs. Claus she's got a check off list and making sure that everything gets done and making sure that I've got everything I need before we take off.
So you're checking your list twice. She's also checking it. So plenty of checking.
She's checking my list and her list, yes.
Absolutely. And so for you, Santa, what inspired you to go into this line of work? I mean, everybody's got that dream job, and yours was to be the greatest gift giver in the history of humankind. What inspired you to do it?
I think I was born to be Santa. I mean, I love children. I've always enjoyed, giving to and caring for others. And I think I'm just a natural for it. I look the part, and I know it's not you're never gonna get rich being a Santa Claus, but just seeing the faces on the little boys and girls and listening to all their stories and about all the things they love about Christmas, it's priceless, absolutely priceless. And Santa Claus never gets old to children either, because I'm only a public figure for 2 months a year, and then I'm on my merry way, so nobody gets tired of it. Best time of the year, from as the story goes.
Hey, everyone's really happy to get their 15 minutes of fame. You get 1 month in every single year that is all about you, Santa Claus, who's joining us right now on the MegaCast. And so, as we've gone through time, technology has continued to aid us in all areas of life, including in transportation, but you stick to the classics. Just you and your reindeer traveling the world to every single house, every single place of living, every single place you can go to drop off gifts to all the good boys and girls all across the world. What keeps you sticking with the classic approach instead of using all this technology that we're all using to get around here?
Well, as you know, I live in a community of elves, and all the elves have a very specific job. Among the most important jobs, certainly the toy makers, but right up there with them are the map makers, the cartographers. What they do is they map out a route for us. They calculate time and distance, and very often one will travel with me to navigate the sleigh. So it works out great. Never had a problem.
So everybody's wondering this time of year, especially the boys and girls that are trying to make those last preparations to make sure that they end up on the nice list and not on the naughty list. So from the source exactly, what are those qualifications that get kids onto the nice list, and what are those disqualities that get them onto the naughty list, Santa?
Well, originally the placement on the naughty or nice list was based on behavior throughout the year, throughout the entire year. Well, I can tell you that for a good long while, there were a lot of boys and girls who ended up with lumps of coal in their stocking instead of presents because of that. These days, children don't hear about Santa Claus very often until about 2 weeks before Christmas, and at that time it's, Jimmy, Santa Claus is watching you, and if you don't stop swinging off the chandeliers, you're not going to get anything for Christmas this year. Well, Jimmy gets his mind right pretty quick, and he got two weeks of great behavior. But the 50 weeks leading up to that may have had a little more questionable behavior. I think parents, if they were to remind their children throughout the year that Santa Claus is watching, and he knows when you've been good and he knows when you've been nice, so be good, for goodness sake. I think things will work out a little better.
Exactly. But for some kids, as they're getting toward the holiday, and as you said, a lot of people, they're not really thinking about Santa Claus until a couple weeks before Christmas. So if they're kind of straddling the line between the naughty list and the nice list, when is that determination made? Which list they're on, and whether they're getting those gifts that they've been hoping for all year long, or they're getting a lump of coal on Christmas?
Well, like I said, right now you can go almost up to the 11th hour, and if you get real close and you're doing your very best at the end, because maybe you don't get those reminders, like I said, then if you can give it your best shot, and your behavior is pretty good without going too far overboard, then you're going to end up on the nice list. The nice list is very, very long. The naughty list is generally very short, not that many on it. The kids tend to get it together when they need to, and they step right up to the plate. So the nice list is always very long.
So as you're traveling across the world this Christmas and every Christmas season, you're hearing all the people out singing Christmas songs, caroling in their communities leading up to the holiday. I'm sure you're hearing all about that from your elves on shelves all across the world. But other than Christmas music, what music do you like to listen to, Santa?
Well, I like all the Christmas music, of course, from the classics, Silent Night and the Little Drummer Boy, and even some of the newer, the little toe tappers, up on the rooftop, and Run, Run, Rudolph, and Rocking Around the Christmas Tree. Those are all great. Those are all very cool. But I guess off season, if I'm not listening to Christmas music, I'm good with. I like all kinds of music from the oldies all the way to some of the music that's even played today, as long as I can understand the lyrics.
Well, other than you on your team, of course, you and Mrs. Claus are big stars this Christmas season, as you are every Christmas season. But another big star is Rudolph, one of your reindeer, and of course, he's become a big star over the many years. Is he staying humble, and are the other reindeer ever jealous about all the attention that Rudolph gets this time of year?
That's a good question. Rudolph is pretty level-headed. He really is. Now, he's taken some heat from some of the other reindeer over the course of the years. He was not one of Santa's original 8 tiny reindeer. He earned his chops in one stormy, blizzardy night, lighting the way with with that shiny nose of his. And he didn't even have to pull; he just led the way. And I suppose that was all it took for him. And on he went. The story continues. So
all around the world, Santa, families are leaving cookies and milk out for you on their counter as you're traveling around delivering their gifts. As you go house to house, home to home, city to city, country to country, what are your favorite cookies to consume as you're dropping off gifts all around the world?
Well, I tell you, I could eat cookies for breakfast, lunch, and dinner if Mrs. Claus would allow me to, but she says, Santa Claus, if you eat as many cookies as you want, there's no magic in the world that's going to fit you down a chimney when the time comes. So she keeps me on a little bit of a diet most of the year. But when I start dropping down chimneys, if I find one of those cutout cookies with some icing and the sprinkles on top, that's a nice cookie. And I can eat a load of those without ever filling up. So that's a pretty good cookie. But some moms are very busy these days, and they can't get out and get in the kitchen and make those cookies. So grocery stores got great cookies. I mean, you can't beat a Chips Ahoy or a couple of those double stuffed golden Oreos. Can't go wrong there.
Now, I would reintroduce our guest, but he speaks for himself. Is Santa Claus with us on the MegaCast today? And you mentioned Mrs. Claus, the greatest Christmas gift Santa has ever received. And I just want to ask, how did you two crazy kids meet?
Well, we live in a community of elves, and many, many years ago, so there's so many I won't tell you because I wouldn't want to put Mrs. Claus on a spot for her age, but or my age for that matter. But probably a little community event, a little sock hop we got together, and we locked eyes, and I knew I was hooked, and I figured we'll end up 2 peas in a pod one day. It took me a little while to convince her of that, but she finally came around.
Well, that of course is a great love story that has persisted throughout the years, Santa, you and Mrs. Claus. So when you're out delivering gifts, what's she doing back at the North Pole?
Well, believe it or not, Mrs. Claus used to, just a very few times when we got started together, she used to make the trip with me. Oh. We get on that sleigh and off we go. It didn't work out that well. She really didn't like it. It came down to well, you're going too fast, Santa, or I'm freezing out here, or, I think you missed a turn. And so she wasn't real happy with the flight. So these days she stays back and supervises the elves and takes care of things back in the North Pole and waits for me to get back.
So it's a long preparation season, of course, for this huge operation of yours all across the world, delivering gifts to everybody on Christmas Eve in time for their Christmas holiday. When it's all over, what do you do to unwind? Do you have a favorite vacation, a vacation spot, any activities you get into right after Christmas?
That's a good question, too. Mrs. Claus and I always travel down. We go down south to a community way down south in the States, as a matter of fact. And it's an older community, a lot of men and women look very much like us, some silver-haired ladies, and a lot of gentlemen with white hair and long beards just like me. So we blend right in. We have a lot of fun for a couple of weeks before we get back to work again.
We're joined by jolly old Saint Nick himself, Santa Claus, on the MegaCast today. Santa, anyone who has ever had a job interview is familiar with this question, so I'll ask it to you as well. This is not a job interview. We're just having a casual conversation between friends, of course. But where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, in 5 years, if I'm not Santa Claus and out of the North Pole, I'll be very disappointed. 5 years and 10 years, as many years as I can be Santa, that's where I see myself. There's no better job for me.
We're joined by Santa Claus on the MegaCast. Just another few minutes with you, Santa. Before we let you go, countless children and families are watching you today here on the MegaCast. And so for them, as we are just 11 days away at this point, that we're recording this interview and that we're broadcasting it live from the Christmas holiday, any lasting messages for children and for families out there as we're approaching Christmas?
Well, to the children, as always, be good, listen to your parents, do well in school as well as you can in school, and get outside and have some fun.
Well, Santa, we appreciate you taking the time to talk with us during this very busy time of the year for you. So we'll let you go and get back to Mrs. Claus, to the elves, and your last-minute preparation for the Christmas holiday. Thank you very much, Santa.
Thank you for having me. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you as well. We'll see him on Christmas Eve traveling all around the world, and then we'll see everything that he delivers to all the good boys and girls all across the world on December 25th on Christmas Day. Big thank you to Santa.